Afternoon, my global family. My name is Lisa Rodney, and I'm the chapter ambassador for the Maryland chapter, and I also serve in the capacity as a global secretary. I'm tasked today to speak on my leadership style, and I would just like to take this opportunity to say thank you to our acting IVP Akula, for this opportunity. So, what is leadership style? When we speak of leadership style, there is no one size fits all. Effective leadership begins with identifying your strengths and then using those unique advantage of your style of leadership to be effective. Leadership is not an hobby or a spectator sport, as often told to us by Apostle Joy. So you have to get involved and be active in leadership. Leadership is a noun or a verb described as an action that you take. So leaders are unique. They do not think like others. Before I get into my leadership style, I would like to list just 7 common leadership style while I go into more details in another video. The first one is servant leadership, democratic leadership, autocratic leadership, transformation leadership, transactional leadership, laissez-faire leadership, and charismatic leadership. So you may fit into one or you may fit into more than one. For me, my leadership style, I fit into 2 of those categories, and that is democratic and servant leader. And the reason why I said I fit into democratic is because I believe I'm open and I allow others to exchange their ideas. So the team members feel engaged and motivated. And as for a servant leader, I think that I am called to serve, so I lead to serve, and naturally develop the following attributes that it takes to be a servant leader. And I believe that I also do call others to join in my cause and my mission, when I put when I'm intentional about doing stuff like that. As leaders, we are also visionaries, right? So we plan, we delegate, and we execute. For me, how I bring those 2 leadership style into fruition is I always try to see where my people are and try to work with them because everybody's not at the same level. So I see where they are, and then sometimes I even do shadow in my place of employment where I manage staff. I'll shadow them to see where they are, what is the reason why their task cannot be completed, what is holding them back, and then we'll work from there. What helps me mostly in leadership, it may sound simple, but it is very effective, is having a planner, a journal. That has helped me a lot. And so what I did was I created a digital planner, and it's a planner journal together, and that helps me in organizing my day. And while I'm organizing my day, then I know how to delegate my tasks. Because sometimes, if I don't do that, paralysis analysis steps in, and then I really get nothing done. And then sometimes I find myself doing everything when I could delegate it to somebody else to do. So having a planner has been very effective for me in being as a leader. And towards the end of the day, I am going to also send out that digital planner so you guys can use it if you so desire. Or if you don't, you can always upload it into GoodNotes or one of those apps that you can type into it. If you don't have any of those apps, then you just print it off and use it. So I just want to wrap up this video before I go into another section by saying that true leader is not a method or technique. It's an attitude. First video that I will be expounding on the different leadership styles. This will be done in this video, and so it's a 2-part video. And I will also be looking at some attributes and potential weaknesses, because in every style there is strength and there is also weaknesses. So I'll begin with servant leadership. Servant leadership is leading with a servant's heart. In a sense, this type of leader focuses primarily on addressing the needs of others. Some attributes are they naturally develops a following. So their following it's organic. It's like effortless. Another attribute is they has a strong positive influence on people's lives. Spend time teaching,
empowering and caring for team members, strengthen communities. They also foster personal and professional growth through a coaching leadership style and develop a trusting team. Potential weakness of this type of leadership is rather than lead with force, those who practice this style gain followers by being a positive influence. While people can work on several leadership skills, they must have the heart to serve. So you must have the heart to serve. And I stated in the first video that this is one of my leadership style, because I do believe that I have a heart to serve. I do believe that when I deal with people, or whether it's church, whether it's on my job, or just my school friends, I do have that type of influence when I lead. The second type of style of leadership is democratic leadership. This is one of the most popular type of leadership style. The approach encourages participation and collaboration among team members. The key to being a democratic leader is creating a team culture where individuals feel they are valued and important. And this is also my second leadership style. From all the styles that I'm discussing, I identify with two: the servant leadership and the democratic leadership. So this is also because I do believe in giving others the opportunity to share and to their ideas to come out, and then we can merge them together. Every idea may not be needed at that particular time, but it may be good for something down the line. So I do believe in pulling ideas together, is giving others the opportunity to think and to come up with idea of their home, so they can feel like they're a part of something. Some attributes of democratic leadership is encourages idea sharing and creativity, facilitate open communication, let other problem solve, support collaboration, develops an environment of mutual respect, listen when others speak, responds with emotional intelligence. And potential weaknesses are, while democratic leadership can be one of the most effective leadership style, it isn't always a great way to manage time-sensitive decision. And I say that because you have so many different ideas, especially if you have a big team and everybody comes with their idea and want their idea to be implemented, and then now you got to sit around and pull all these ideas together to see which one best fits whatever project you're working on. So it can be it can take up a lot of time, but it's also an effective way of leadership, so don't count it out. The other type of leadership I'm looking at is autocratic leadership. Autocratic leadership, the authoritarian or autocratic leadership model requires explicit power over an organization or group. For instance, during the decision-making process, they rarely involve others. Due to high levels of isolated controls, or authoritarians, executives are commonly associated with dictators. So they make all the decision. They come up with all the ideas, make all the decision, and then they just pour it on you and say, okay, this is what's going to happen. Attributes shows an aptitude for efficiency and decisiveness, favors bureaucratic leadership, where they dictate processes, systems, and operations, act as the top commander, control decision making, separates themselves from employees, struggles to respond positively during personal challenges, less receptive to other thoughts, opinion, or ideas, establishes structure, rules, and forms of discipline. Potential weakness for this style is, while traits like quick thinking and decision-making benefit companies, working solely within this framework is not an effective long-term way of managing people. Autocratic leadership only works until it doesn't work. There needs to be a balance between strong leadership, autonomy, and empowerment of employees. So I'm going to stop here, and then in the next video, I'll finish up on the other leadership styles. Back to part 2 of leadership styles. I will be starting with transformational leadership. And remember, I'm going to state potential weaknesses as well as some attributes. transformational leadership. Leaders using this style inspire people through their clear vision. Additionally, they tend to excel in effective communication and focus on instilling purpose in employees and customers alike. So potential weaknesses for this style is, while this type of person inspires organizational change by communicating big picture ideas, they are typically less skilled with details and processes. Because of this, they often need logistical minds on the team who can carry out the planning and implementation of company objectives. Some attributes are speak conviction and charisma. They speak with conviction and charisma, describe overarching vision when communicating, deliver purpose-driven objectives targeting the company's mission, create an atmosphere of creativity and innovative at work, and help employees feel confident to experiment and make mistakes and even fail. The other type of leadership I'm looking at is transactional leadership. Transactional leadership is a result-driven approach that follows a distinct organizational hierarchy. For example, this type of leader views their relationship with employees as an exchange. Additionally, those practicing this leadership style create clear measures for success and failure. If individuals achieve the goals set by the organization, they are rewarded for a job well done. But if they fail, they will be held accountable for not meeting the determined mark. And I understand this leadership very well because most of my jobs that I work on, this is the kind of leadership that is there. So, it's always, we're always given a bonus when you exceed. But once you don't exceed, then your bonus is taken away from you, and then you have angry employees because everybody don't bonus every quarter. So then when the company don't meet their goal, then they take it back from you, and sometimes it really causes tension. Some attributes are holds an upper level ranking position in the organization, create short-term and long-term performance measures, such as the KPI tool, the set goals and delegate tasks, communicates with the team about what work needs completion, monitors the progress of goal achievement, conducts employee review, holds employee accountable for not reaching anticipated result. Potential weaknesses, transactional executives and managers tend to create work environment that are too rigid. When results are the sole focus, those on the team suffer. For instance, people need a working environment that allows room for mistakes, creativity, and innovation. The laissez-faire leadership, laissez-faire or delegated leadership is a hands-on style that gives individuals freedom and control over their job. In French, the term roughly translates as let it be. Because of laissez-faire leadership believes in minimal regulation, employees within the company make their own choices with minimal input from the person guiding them. For example, under laissez-faire leadership, workers might decide they don't need to come in on Friday as long as they complete their work on time. Some attributes are grants employees a high level of freedom when working, instill a sense of trust into the team, encouraging problem solving and decision making, provides any resources or tools needed, limits input and guidance, decreases pressure to work, encourages team to take responsibility for unsuccessful choices and action. Potential weakness is leaders can be good for those who have employees with a track record of great management, but it isn't suitable for our business model. Furthermore, if the team isn't full of high-driven, qualified self-starters, the company will suffer. In fact, some people do not consider laissez-faire as a style of leadership at all. And our final leadership that we're looking at is charismatic leadership. Those who exhibit this dominant styles are driven, influential, and determined to see their life's mission come to fruition. As skilled orators with a distinct vision, they inspire the mobilization of efforts towards a collective cause. While very similar to the transformational style, the charismatic style primarily motivates others through emotions and connections. Attributes or communicates a powerful vision, connects to their audience emotion when speaking, inspire action, focuses on outcome, keep employees engaged by asking questions, listen intently. A potential weakness, one drawback of this leadership style is that it can quickly burn out employees. Charismatic executive dedication and resolve to their mission will likely never match those being managed. This is why it's important to keep employees' recognition and appreciation at the forefront of interaction with employees. For example, create a system of reward for achieving short-term and long-term milestones that makes people feel acknowledged for their work. So this type of leadership doesn't just work only in your place of employment, but it also works in non-profit. You may be volunteering for somebody, you still need some leadership style if you're in a leadership position, in your church, in your communities. All these styles can be carried out in any organization or company that you works with or non-profit. Stay tuned for more.